Hello everybody and welcome back to Steve's Gear. And today we're going to take a look at the Wuben X2 Pro. Now this is a relatively newer release for Wuben. It was available on Kickstarter for a while and now it's available for sale on the website. And they were kind enough to send me out a couple of them to take a look at. And I've been using them for almost 2 weeks. So I've got a pretty good idea of how they've been working for me so far. So I want to make kind of an overview video and see if these might be something that might interest you. We'll just kind of go over some of the basic specs of these lights. I'll just take a look at them a little closer up. And I'll go over some of the features of them. And like I said, we'll see if this might be something that works good for you. Now, the one here on the left is the UV version, and then the one here on the right is the red, green, blue version. There's not a ton of differences between the two besides the obvious, but we'll take a look at each one. And then they also sent me a couple of accessories we'll look at more towards the end of the video. Now, the boxes they come in are pretty much the exact same. We'll just take a look at one of them, kind of see what you guys get in the box. Slide the little sleeve off. Pretty nice packaging here. Lift it up. Your light will be in here, and then it does come with a couple of accessories in here as well. You get your USB-A to USB-C charging cable. You get a Wuben branded lanyard, and then you get something that's pretty cool. Now this is actually a little mount, and I don't actually have anything that it mounts to yet. It actually mounts right to your pocket clip, and it's for an arc rail. Now the arc rail I think sometimes is like on hard helmets, and I believe they also sell a adapter for your bicycle handlebars where you actually clip this light right onto it. So that's pretty cool. And then you get your instruction manual. So this is one of those lights that probably is handy to look at the instruction manual or watch some videos on their website, or maybe just watching this video could help you. So it does have a lot of different features and functions. Might seem a little bit overwhelming at first, but it'll only take you a few minutes to get used to it. Now let's take a look at the flashlight itself. I think it's pretty cool looking. It's definitely something a little bit different. I've kind of been liking the flat style flashlights a little bit lately. This one is a little bit, it's shorter, it's a little bit thicker, but it just kind of has a futuristic look to me, which I kind of like. I mean, I kind of dig the aesthetics of this one. Now on the lenses here, you can see there's quite a few different LEDs. Some of them have more of a diffused side and some of them have more of a clear side, because it does have a pretty good range of adjustability in this one, which is pretty cool. Now on the bottom of it, you do get a magnetic base here, and you get a couple pins here from one of the accessories we'll look at here in just a minute. Now taking a look at the left side of the light, this is where your operator switch is. So as you can see, you're going to get your, all the way back is going to be locked mode. The middle mode is going to be for your light here. And then the top mode is going to be for your main light. So you get a lot of adjustability. This is actually your button to change different modes. And then you actually have this rotary wheel where you can do some adjustability we'll look at. So that's pretty cool. Now on the right side of it, you're going to get your flap here for opening your batteries we'll look at here in just a second. You're going to get the charging port here, USB-C, pretty easy to get in and out. This is white, IP68 water resistant. And then on this front light here, you can kind of see that this actually has a 20-degree adjustability on it. So 20 degrees is pretty good. It does make a pretty big difference, and it's pretty easy to swivel back and forth. But it's not loose enough where it moves on its own or anything, but pretty easy to move. Now this flap here to access your batteries, you're going to see a lock and unlock. So if you switch it to the unlock position, then you just push down, you're going to pop the cap on it. It comes with a couple batteries. You're going to get two 900 milliamp hour 14500 batteries. Now the cool thing about this thing is the fact that you can use this with multiple different batteries. You can use this with alkaline batteries, you can use it with lithium batteries, and you can use it with rechargeable batteries. And the really cool function is it'll actually operate with one battery. Now, obviously, power and longevity and stuff like that's going to be affected by that. But if you were out somewhere and you ran these batteries out of life and you're searching around your vehicle and you have a random AA in there, you could put that in here, close it up, and you will get some life out of it. So that's a pretty cool function. Or if these batteries are dead, you need to leave the house, you need to just throw some regular batteries in it, you can do that. So I do like that it will set to multiple different kinds, and even run off one if you need it to. Close it up, you just basically latch it shut, throw it in the lock position, and it's good to go. I haven't had a problem with it popping open or anything. The little switch has never moved in my pocket or anything and opened up, so it's worked out pretty good. Let's talk about some of the features of it. So one of the features about this light that I really like is, for me, when I'm working, I prefer more of a floody style beam because a lot of the stuff I do is kind of close up. But sometimes when I go outdoors, I want kind of a more of a spot beam. Well, this light will actually give you kind of the best of both worlds. So if we switch it to the front light mode and we turn it on by the little switch, You can just hold the switch down and it will adjust between low, medium, and high. You can double tap and access the turbo mode. Now this light here has a max throw of 205 meters and a max lumen output of 1500 lumens. So pretty good brightness on it. So if we turn it on, say we turn it on to the high mode. Now, as you can see, it does have a little bit of a spot there. Now, if we rotate this rotary wheel all the way back, it's going to actually turn into a floody beam, and then it'll flash when it reaches the bottom of the end of that. Now, if you just prefer the spotlight, you just keep turning it the other direction, and it will go to spot. And it'll flash when it reaches the max of that. So you can adjust it anywhere in between those. You can have the max spot setting or the max flood setting, or somewhere in the middle. Say you want just a little bit of spot and you want a little bit more spill. Pretty cool. I really like that feature. It's came in handy, multiple uses for this thing. So I really like that part. Now, this little front light here has also been pretty beneficial to me. I've actually liked that quite a bit. Now, if you switch this to the middle mode for your front light, you can just tap it and it will turn on. Same thing, you can adjust this rotary wheel all the way down to really low mode and it will flash when it reaches that. And then you can rotate it all the way up to the brightness. It'll flash when it reaches the top, which is 400 lumens. So 400 lumens is pretty good for just setting this thing up. Like I said, you can kind of adjust that head, a little bit higher or a little bit lower, whatever works best for you. And the cool thing about this light is all the sides are flat. So if you want to set it like this, no problem, or like this, or like this, or like this, or like this. However you want to put it to make this light work the best for you, it's good. And it's got that magnetic base. For me, it came in handy just the other day. I was trying to organize some cables underneath my desk, and it's kind of dim underneath there. I just magnetized this to the metal legs, turn on this little front light, plenty of light to, tidy up the cables and stuff like that. Another way that I've used this is I wear a vest at work most days. Just kind of a regular heavy-duty vest, and I zip it up about 75%. And I've actually been clipping this like right over the zipper, so this is actually facing outwards. And I'll turn on that little side light, turn the head downwards, and it'll kind of light up my feet in front of me when it's kind of dim out. So I've actually been using that way pretty good. Now the pocket clip itself, you can put it on your hat. If you want to slide it onto your hat and use it kind of like a headlamp, you can do that just fine. I've noticed when you clip it on your hat, this light here doesn't do a whole lot of good because it just illuminates pretty close to right to your face. But if you want to use this just like a headlamp, it works just fine. Retention in your pocket's been pretty good. It does stick out a little bit once you have it in there, but for me, I like that because I wear gloves most days, so it's something easy for me to grip onto and pull out. But yeah, pocket clips worked out pretty good for me so far. Now, the other function of this front light is when you have it turned on, if you hold the button down, it switches to the red, green, and blue, which actually has 7 different modes. So if you rotate the wheel, you can just change between different colors. And 7 different colors. And if you want to use like an SOS mode, you just double tap. And it will activate, oops, didn't do it fast enough. It'll activate like the SOS mode, which is pretty cool. Now, if you're in the color mode and it's turned off, if you double tap, it will actually flash and rotate through different colors. Now, you can't adjust these colors. It'll just randomly rotate through different colors. But that's kind of a cool mode as well. If you're stranded somewhere and you need to get somebody's attention, hopefully this would be able to get somebody's attention. So works out pretty slick. Now, if you pull in the UV one, everything between these two lights is pretty much identical except for one feature, or one aesthetic feature. Now, the UV version actually has the battery indicator right here on the side, kind of underneath the charging port flap. So when you're charging this up, it'll illuminate red, and then it'll turn blue when it's fully charged. Now, on the red, green, and blue version, it actually will light up this LED when it's charging. So it'll light up, red when it's charging and blue when it's fully charged. So that's kind of the difference as far as aesthetically between these two. As far as the function goes, same thing. If we switch this to the side mode, you can turn on the light, and then you hold it down, and it'll activate the UV mode. Now, UV is kind of hard to see on camera, but it activates the UV. Once it's in there, you don't have any adjustability with that. It's just set at the same amount, so you can turn the wheel all you want and nothing will happen. Hold it down, it'll switch back to your white light, and then you can just adjust it like normal. So those are kind of the difference between the two. I prefer the red, green, and blue a little bit more just because I probably would use the red light more than I would use the UV light, and I like the function of the SOS and stuff like that on it. So for me, this would be the one that I like the most. But if you do use UV, obviously this would be a good choice for you. Now let's talk about some of the accessories they sent out. They sent out a diffuser cap and a tail cap switch. Now the tail cap switch is a big one for me because I like tail cap switches. So to use this, basically you're going to unlock your little battery door. You're going to pop it open. Now on the door, you're going to notice it has some channels here on the sides and a couple pins. And that's going to match up with the rails on this and the pins. So you'll just slide it on, close the lid, and then you'll lock it. And then to use the tail cap switch, you actually have to have the light turned on to the front mode, and then you can just use the switch. So you can use a momentary, or you can actually click it all the way on and off. And it will remember what mode you have it set on. So if you have it set on the high mode or the low mode, that's how the switch will work. So right now it's on the high mode, but if I wanted to, I could put it on low mode, and then the switch will operate on low mode. And it'll remember how you have it set up as far as the spot and the flood goes too. So pretty cool. I like the tail cap switch. It is a little interesting looking, I guess, but it works out pretty good. When it's in your pocket, I don't have a problem with it going all the way in my pocket and hitting the bottom of it, just because this is a little bit shorter of a light. Now, when it's clipped on my vest or something like that, it's pretty easy because I can just pop it off, and then I just use it in my hand and use it just fine. So I've actually found the switch pretty handy for me, but I'm kind of a tail switch type guy. Now, if you want to use the diffuser, pretty easy, obviously. You just slip it right over the top, and then you turn the light on, and you get some diffused light. You can I'll try to kind of demonstrate how the LEDs kind of switch. It's kind of easier to see a little bit when the diffuser's on. So if you change it between spot and flood, you'll kind of see the LEDs kind of change a little bit in it. And then just between low, medium, and high, you'll notice some change in LEDs. And then you turn on the turbo, and you obviously get the super brightness. So it's pretty cool how those LEDs just kind of rotate around through here, depending on what mode you have it in, if you have it on spot or flood, and it adjusts seamlessly. It's a real smooth adjustment, so that's pretty cool. But yeah, that's kind of just a general overview of these Wuben X2 Pros. Let me know in the comments. Do you like them? Do you not like them? What do you think is a cool feature about them? If you happen to own one and you're watching this video, let me know how you like it. And that's all I got for you guys today. Thanks a lot for watching. I hope you all have a great day.